Tell 'em Tribe Tarot. Daily readings for my tribe. Subscribe to my channel.
Peace. I am Cherokee with Tell 'em Tribe Tarot, coming to you with another live general reading for all signs. Tonight we're going to talk about what went wrong with my past relationships. All right, so as always, we're going to give you the disclosure. Take what resonates and leave behind what does not. Gemini, what went wrong with your past relationship? So Gemini, I feel indifferent for you right now for this particular energy that I'm picking up on. So let's see the first card of what went wrong with your past relationship. So the Nine of Cups. So some of you may still be in that relationship. Look, Cherokee the lyricist is here. That's me, whole time. So you may have had a partner you put a lot of time and energy into, and you had high expectations for them, Gemini, and you saw their potential. You did not hold their faults against them. And interestingly, when we get in relationships, it's work. We all know that relationships takes work. It takes constant work, back and forth, like playing ping pong tennis. So in this relationship, you both started off doing the work together, and apparently one of you liked the idea of a relationship while the other person was trying really hard to sustain it. So you were the one that came into the relationship open-minded with your emotions on the table, and your person was not emotionally available. The roles can be reversed, Gemini. It could be that your person, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, are present. Your person could have been emotionally available and you could have been emotionally closed off, because I sense arguments like you don't understand me, or you don't hear my point, or you hear me but you're not listening. So someone had an emotional wall up. I'm going to pull another card. So the King of Pentacles. And someone was working their ass off in a relationship, maybe putting in more time at work than in the actual relationship. Maybe someone treated the relationship like a business or treated the relationship like work. But I feel like overall what went wrong is that you overachieved in this relationship. Maybe you wanted something to look exactly like how you set forth for it to be. Maybe you had a list and you crossed all of those things off the list, and this person had it, and you were trying by any means necessary to keep them in this relationship based on this list, and they was just like not cutting it. So you may have sacrificed yourself in the relationship, Gemini, to accommodate the relationship, and then now here we are. What is it that you have for Gemini, Spirit? What would you like Gemini to know going forward? Or anything about the past relationship, or just in general, a message for Gemini to hit the road. So your spirit guides are telling you that you may be a person who, I feel like I said this before, when I go through these deja vu moments, 9 times out of 10 I said it before. I probably said it in a past life, who knows? But it's time for you to rest and take care of yourself emotionally, and in every aspect of taking care of yourself, your self-care routine, your self-love routine, listening to your nonverbal cues, the things that your body is telling you. Your emotions needs to be placed on ice. Your body, your coochie, your manly parts, all that needs to be placed on ice. Reserve yourself for you. To show up for you. Show up for you in a way that would allow you to be available when the time comes. Take time away from dating for a little bit. Take time away from trying to please the people that come into your life, because when you get into a relationship, you go all the way in, and sometimes you forget about your needs, because it is very important for you to see your person and to be seen. But most importantly, you give your all when you do decide to commit, Gemini, because we know how Gemini gets down. Gemini is damn near a Sagittarius, sometimes a Pisces. So anyways, that's all I have for you, Gemini. Sit your ass down somewhere. Rest, goddamn. Rest. And that's what I'm doing. I'm a Gemini and I'm resting. Yes, I'm going to be resting for a long, long time. Yes, I am. Okay, so Aquarius, moving on to Aquarius. The first card that came out for you, Aquarius, is the Eight of Cups. So Somebody walked away from the relationship, Aquarius, and I feel like maybe someone wasn't getting what they wanted. Someone may have felt like they may have had better options. Why did Aquarius or Aquarius's person walk away? That's not enough information. People walk away for no reason at all. Sometimes you don't need a reason to walk away. Sometimes you just don't feel like it. I read a thread on Instagram, not on Instagram, on Twitter. Twitter is wild as shit, where there was a whole thread that came from TikTok of men who walked away from their families, like pregnant women, people still in relationships, all kind of shit. Like literally went to the store and did not come back. Like what the fuck? People do that? Like people really do that. So this is why I just can't tell you that you walked away or your person walked away from you. Obviously there's a reason, even if they didn't mention it. So what went wrong in your past relationship? I got the Queen of Cups. So someone wanted to be nurtured more. Someone felt like they weren't being seen in their relationship. Again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I feel like Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio are traveling the world and raising havoc on people. No offense. I'm just saying this is the second sign that's been affected by Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It's not a coincidence, but whatever. You could have walked away from this connection because you felt like you were better off on your own, because you felt yourself asking for the same things over and over again. You could have felt like your person was also emotionally unavailable, or your person was too, oh shit, you felt like your person was clingy. You felt like your person was clingy. And Aquarius, you didn't want someone that did not have their own separate life. Like your person always wanted to be up under you, so you felt like they needed their own life, so you gave them an opportunity by setting them free. I feel like you may have walked away from your relationship, or your person walked away from your relationship. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energies are present because they were too clingy. They didn't have a life of their own. They always wanted to be where you were. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. It only becomes a bad thing when it becomes like they start to consume you. I know, like, based on being in love, like sometimes you love somebody so much you want to be in their skin. But if you don't have anything going for yourself and you're constantly nurturing that person is like taking care of you, sometimes that can turn into an obsession, and then eventually you push your person away. So I feel like Aquarius, you may have pushed your person away because you were too clingy, borderline psycho, or your person pushed you away because, or you pushed your person away because they were too clingy. Now, the advice that we have for you, Aquarius, let's see. Have y'all ever dealt with anyone that was too clingy in a relationship? I can't really remember. I only had like 3 or 4 real relationships in my life. Anything outside of that, I don't remember, or it just doesn't count. And if I don't remember it, it really doesn't count. But, yeah, being clingy is cool when the feelings are mutual. Wouldn't you say so? I don't know. Clingy is not always bad. It's like clingy and whiny, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, what's the message that you have for Aquarius? So integrity. So have some respect about yourself. So it could be that you just have to honor your values. You have to honor the way that you feel. When you feel something, if something makes you uncomfortable, you have to voice it. You can't allow people to or expect people to figure out what's going on your mind. Speak your heart. Always put your feelings on Front Street when it comes to your relationships. Don't leave people in the dark, especially in a situation like this where you feel like someone is they're doing too much. That is the time for you to have that conversation and let that person know, like, look, this makes me uncomfortable, because there's no way that a person will know that you're doing something wrong, that they're doing something wrong, if you don't have the conversation. Communication is like 90% of a relationship to me. 10% sex, 90% communication. You know, I'm not really good at math, but to me, that's important. Okay, maybe like 60% communication, 40% sex. Or maybe like 50. Anyway, that's all I have for you, Aquarius. I pull one of these cards. I'm actually going to be returning these cards, you guys, because they spelled everything wrong in the deck, but I'm going to send it back on Saturday. I just want to use it some more. Gonna get my money's worth and get my money back. Yeah. What went wrong with Libra's relationship in the past? Liar. So the card that came out, and it says, be careful, someone is sneaky. Someone was lying. So your last relationship was probably built on toxic actions and just lies and deceit. Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe you was, oh shit, maybe you assumed someone was lying. Maybe you felt like your person wasn't being open with you, Libra. Two of Wands. So you couldn't choose between two people. So you may have given, I think like you felt like you had everything in your connection, Libra, and you didn't necessarily need to explain much at first, because I sense an energy of someone who felt like they communicated what things were with their person. So you probably went into you were in a situationship with someone, Libra, and you guys made it clear that y'all were in a situationship. So it wasn't even supposed to be a relationship, but y'all was simulating a relationship. But then somehow it got to a point where y'all was in a relationship, but y'all didn't communicate that y'all was in a relationship. And that's really what the main problem was. What went wrong was, once again, ding, 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 communication. But there was an understanding that was communicated at first when the relationship started. So it didn't start with a lie. It was just like, yo, you know, I'm not ready to do this right now, but I'm feeling your vibe. I never met anybody like you before. You got a vibe that I never felt before. I want to keep you around for the long haul. I want you to be my shawty. I want you to be my dude. When you see me, you know, you see him, or when you see her, you see me, or vice versa. The sexes can be reversed. It could be non-binary. I don't know. It's too much sexes and shit going on in the world of non-sex. I don't fucking know. But understand that y'all had an understanding in the beginning, but then things started to change as the feelings started to grow and y'all started simulating a relationship. So then y'all started holding each other accountable like you were in a relationship. Like, what you doing? Who you with? Where you going? Where you gonna be at? I'm coming. And you never objected to it. It's like having a contract with someone and saying, without signing the contract. And that's not really a contract. It's just a piece of paper with words on it, like terms and conditions that no one likes to read, but you just somehow kind of adhere to it because you said yes. So yeah, that's what the situation was. And then there was other people involved, because this is something that you knew, but you kind of didn't want it to be the truth, Libra. And the relationship just dissolved itself. I'm going to pull another card because I'm curious, because this energy feels good. Mika, it resonates. Damn, that's crazy. Picked up on your goddamn energy. And then the Judgment card. So then you have someone that's like trying to consider if they want to change their ways for another person. And that's what went wrong as well. Being made to feel like you have to adjust to accommodate someone else rather than changing because you genuinely want to change. And when you have a situation where you're with someone that you love and you care about, regardless of what your circumstances are or what the circumstance is, if that person is not ready to really make a change and you're pushing the issue, you'll push that person away, you'll turn that person off, or it just dissolves itself. And that's what happened. I feel like this relationship never really ended. It's just like it just dissolved itself. Y'all never really said, we're not doing this no more. Y'all kind of just stopped. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some advice from the Oracle deck. That's crazy. And then it pulled liar. But you end up lying to each other when you just don't communicate effectively. And it seems like lies, but technically it's not really lies. And it depends on what you think a lie is. Did you know that different people have different variations of what they think a lie is? Like there's different shades of white and different shades of black. But like I'm still black, but I'm like off black. You know, I'm still black, but I'm brown. Like it's kind of complicated, like the English language, and I don't like that. I'm one of those people that's like black and white. Like a lie is a lie. You lie by lying, by falsifying the truth, or by leaving out the truth. And even if we're friends with benefits or we're just friends, my nigga, say something. Say something. Like tell me what it is. Like we're friends, right? But that shit never really works out for real. It don't be working out. So release. Well, I'm not really surprised that this came out. So you remember how I said a moment ago that Libra, you and your person or whoever you're thinking about, reverse the roles, if you will. Sagittarius, Aries, Leo energies are present, but you got to release the situation, because I feel like when you meet new people, you kind of still think about this person in the back of your mind, like, you know, like you go on dates, but you still compare to that person. Like you use that person as your standard. And that's not fair, because that situation was, it was real, but it wasn't like a real relationship. It never really stood a chance. So until you really release that situation, you're not really giving yourself a fair shot at healing from that situation. So that's all I have for you, Libra. Very interesting. Very interesting. A very common tale for a lot of people. Move the hell on. All right. So we're going to move on to Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, our water signs. So we're going to start with Pisces. What went wrong with Pisces? Okay, I'm fucking up the question. What went wrong with Pisces past relationship? Wow, the liar card. I forgot to put that in. It's like Spirit is saying, like, they lies too. So King of Pentacles. This is someone who plans everything. This energy, I feel, you do not leave any details out. Like if you going on a date, you planning the date, you setting a reservation, you making sure you showing up for the reservation, your date better be on time, you picking them up. You may have been with someone that might have been a bit of a free spirit, like too much of a free spirit, and they challenged you in a way that required you to release your, to break down your boundaries. And this Pisces is not one to show them true selves off the bat like that. This is someone that really has their shit together, but deep down inside, they're afraid to show their true self to someone. So it may have made your partner pull back. Or you may have pulled back because they were trying to pry too much into a space that you weren't ready to open up. That's what I'm getting at first. So I'm going to pull another card for you, Pisces, to see what went wrong. So off the rip, what went wrong? It's just that you weren't open. Like you opened up to a certain extent and your person may have felt left out. You may have been dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or you may have Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements in your chart. Then the Ace of Cups comes out. So this is your energy. So the Ace of Cups as well is that you had a lot of different opportunities to show yourself to your person and you didn't. So you really stressed the fuck up out of your person. You made your person feel like they had to strip every fucking layer of you. You were someone who had a lot of opportunities and you may have made your person feel like, oh, you gotta do what the other dudes do to get me, or you gotta do what the other chicks do to get me. Even though you cared about this person, like you made them feel that they had to jump through hell and high water to get to know the real you. And that's frustrating for someone who's given their all while you're giving variations of yourself. And that's what caused the demise of your relationship. Let me see. I feel like you may have been dealing with someone who been cussing your ass out about this. Like someone who cuts you straight to the core with words. Someone who does not let shit slide. Like you met your match in this relationship. You really met your match in the relationship and you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle it. And you wanted them to stick around for it. And when they tried to pull back, you made them feel it's like a narcissistic energy. Or maybe like bipolar. Something that has to do with emotions that you can't control, or some kind of mental illness of some sort. Got play. So yeah, you play too goddamn much. But that's not what that's saying. It's saying that you didn't trust your intuition to know when you had a good person in front of you, Pisces. You didn't trust your intuition when it was telling you, hey, you really need to be vulnerable and let your guards down for your person. And you let them fight for you. But you had someone in your corner that appreciated you and saw their new beginning with you and saw you as their wish fulfillment. And you gave them such a hard time by just being so closed off. And maybe you didn't even know that you were being closed off, Pisces, because you still getting to know yourself. All you care about is just making shit shake and keeping your life in order and making sure everybody around you is straight. But you never really took the time to make sure you were straight emotionally. So when you met somebody that matched your energy and was cussing your ass out, but they cursed you out respectfully. They cursed you out respectfully, like, yo, I'm tired of trying to get through to you to let you know I'm the real deal. I shouldn't have to sell myself to you like I'm some kind of $2 hoe. I shouldn't have to sell myself to you to try to get you to see my worth. And that's why the relationship fell apart. And you played on their top. That's really what it is. Like, you took the time to make this person open up to you. You got their trust, and then you just played on their top and ignored your intuition and you lost a good thing. So right now, Pisces, you just need to focus on moving the hell on and leaving this person alone and stop fucking with people when you're not emotionally ready. Sorry, not sorry. Scorpio. All right, so what went wrong with Scorpio's past relationship? Cycles, fate, karma. Something ending, something beginning. Your last relationship may have been your karmic relationship. Those relationships are typically the relationships that prepare you for your one true love. Those are the relationships that take you through the motions where you learn, like Christina with your Pisces, where you went through that long period of time with your person and you thought it was wasted time, but that was your karmic. So it's the same thing with Scorpio, where you go through a period of time with a person where you feel like this is going to be my person. I don't care what we go through. I don't care what you do to me. This is what we doing. I'm fighting for it, point blank, period, because you showed me a side of you that I've never seen in anyone else. And sometimes that makes us stay in situations longer than we're supposed to because we get an experience that we've never had before. But just because you experience something new doesn't mean it's something that is supposed to be around longer than its season. And that's the tricky part about life, because don't nobody give you a book and be like, hey, this ain't right for you. Leave that shit alone. It feels all good until it's wrong as fuck. And then 5 years later, you're like, oh, that was wrong as fuck, but it felt good and bad at the same time. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to choose between good and bad when it's here at the same time? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no crossroads. It's just dirt, and you got to forge your own path. That's how life do you. Be like, choose your own path. Which way, God? Which the fuck way? Because good feels good and bad feels good too. Which way? But that's the way how life works. I had a moment, y'all. So let's go ahead. What we on? Scorpio? Was that Scorpio? Did we skip Cancer? So we have the 6 of Cups. So someone may So someone didn't want to be with someone because they had children. How the hell you get in a relationship with somebody? Oh, they might not have mentioned that they had children. And after you got in a relationship, you found out that they had children in maybe like another location. And the relationship was harmonious. And they always try to hint like, you know, I want to have kids. So here's the thing. Scorpio, you didn't have children, and your person, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energies present again. Your person had children and they forgot to mention it. I think what really happened was they didn't want to introduce you to their children until they knew that you were the real deal. And I don't see anything wrong with that. But let's get some more insight because this is too vague. Patience. Just a few more months. Good things to come. Good things to those who wait. They kept a secret from you about children, or maybe you got with someone while they were pregnant. That's trifling. Let me pull another card because this is so interesting. So either you got with somebody and they didn't mention that they had kids, and maybe this particular Scorpio, you're not good with children, or you just felt like they should have just kept it a buck and put the bottom line on top and just be like, yo, I got children. How many children maybe have been the issue? I don't know. But let's get some more insight because we need to move on. We got earth signs next and we got fire signs, and we gotta go because I'm tired. Okay, so the strength card in reverse. So someone did not have faith in the relationship or what was being said. I think, Scorpio, you put out like an irresponsible energy. You put out an energy that gave the impression that you didn't want to have a family, or you were disconnected from family. And this person was so into you. But the one thing, and this wasn't even a long relationship. This relationship was short as shit. This is like a relationship that was like 6 to 8 months. And you never knew that this person had children, but the reason why they didn't tell you about the children is because you always had some slick, crazy ass shit to say when it came to children. You always made them feel like you were never on that scope. You always had this idea that the ideal family that you would have would be without children. Maybe you gave them the indication that you were disconnected from your childhood because you weren't close to your family. And they tried to be patient with you over time to see if maybe things would change. But they just loved your personality. They loved how eccentric you were. They loved how you were with people. And they saw how good your energy was, Scorpio. But they didn't feel that you were ready to meet their children. And when you found out how many children they had, and then that they kept that they had children, you was like, you just don't keep the fact that you got 8 kids, or you don't keep the fact away that your kids stay with family members, or you don't keep the fact that you just have children and be trying to be in a serious relationship, but not mentioning that you have kids. That's crazy. Maybe it could have been how many baby mothers this person had, or how many baby fathers this person had, and you just is like, okay, now that you told me about it, and you got about multiple fathers or mothers, and you just didn't want to deal with that. You didn't have the strength to deal with that, right? So it was just this person's nature to keep this information from you, not necessarily because they were embarrassed about it, Scorpio. It's just that they weren't ready because of the type of situation that they had. They may have been someone that was recuperating from a life that was really fast, and then you brought them a sense of security. I feel like if you could find the strength to forgive them, y'all could probably try this again, but it didn't go wrong because they lied about the kids. They lied to say that they didn't have kids, or they just left out the fact that they had kids. They forgot to tell you. I'm sorry, but if a man forget to tell me he had kids, I don't want to be with him no more. Not because he has children. And I do have a preference. Like, I don't want to be with the man that has children. Unless they're adults. Anyways, that was a sidebar. Moving on. Taurus. What went wrong in Taurus' past relationship? 6 of Pentacles. So you felt like the person that you was with didn't have enough money to support you. I felt like y'all was unequally yoked. Page of Wands, very immature energy. They always needed money from you. They always wanted to do shit, and they never had any money to do it. I feel like this is a funny situation because this person that you're thinking of, they saw you as an opportunity to grow. Maybe they considered you as someone that could be in a solid relationship for the long haul, maybe. But if they did, they never really did that with their actions. They always thought about what a budding, beautiful relationship would be like with someone like you. But I think that they like the idea of you, but they really more so like what you could do for them, Taurus. I feel like I felt like they used you. And if you look, like, they always expected you to handle everything. Like, they gave the impression that they were all about you, but they were all about your money. And when things were good, it was great as long as you were spending money. So you basically got with a gold digger. You just became that person. You became the person that the chick saved as food in her phone. Sad. I never had a chance. Sir, no one has a chance. All right, so the process. So your spirit guide's advice for you, Taurus, is that you have to allow things to unfold instead of trying to take things into your own hands, because you were trying to mold this person into someone that you wanted them to be because of how they look. They were beautiful or they were handsome, and it's so tacky. A woman gets with a dude and he don't got no money. And I'm not saying we're dating people because we want to milk them, or we're dating people for status, financial status. That's not what it is. What I'm saying is, come to the table with equal pockets. Come to the table with the same mentality, the base mentality. Your person came into the relationship looking for an opportunity to come up. You came into the relationship looking for an opportunity to build a long-lasting relationship, emotional connection with someone that you could later build a family with, or something of the sort. But this person really never really saw you as someone that they would want to be with seriously. You were just an opportunity for them. So you have to trust things as you see it. You have to trust things when it happens. Trust things as you see it. And that's all that I have to say about that. It's not a good feeling to be used. All right, Virgo. I feel like you still mourning the loss of this relationship with the Star, because this person was your wish fulfillment. 9 of Pentacles. So this person was a very accomplished person. Maybe, Virgo, you were the accomplished person in your relationship and you guys just didn't have time for each other. Yeah, see, well, the 4 of Pentacles came out in the reverse position, and we're talking just Pentacles. So this is really about material wealth and worldly things. This is just a relationship that wasn't grounded. There wasn't enough of an emotional connection between you and your person. Virgo, you may have felt as though you guys could build a dope relationship. Like, I always compare relationships, powerful relationships, to Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they built an empire. And I think that you saw your person as this kind, not of course in the entertainment industry, but setting the tone of building an empire with someone who's on the same intellectual level as you, but the other parts of the relationship suffered. One of y'all even taught financial literacy programs, which is why you were so successful. Like, you sell a program and that shit pays you while you sleep. Whatever the case may be, is y'all were enjoying each other in this connection. But y'all were just treating this relationship like a business, and it was just like y'all grew apart. It just wasn't working. It just wasn't working for you. And now you're elevating more in your relationship with yourself, and you're still looking for someone who could match your energy. I think you're looking for someone that you want to take care of too, Virgo. And this person, I don't feel like this person wanted to be in that position. You might have got with someone like an alpha woman, if this is a Virgo man. And if this is a Virgo woman, you got with a man who wanted to, take care of you, and you wasn't having that. You wasn't on that. So it could have been, it was just like a power struggle. Like, 2 alphas in a relationship is great when you have communication. Once again, communication, maybe 60-40, like I was saying earlier. The present. See, that's where you at right now with it. You just living in the moment, and you're not really looking too much in the past, because you respect this relationship for what it is. I feel like y'all may still even be friends. This wasn't like a bitter breakup. This was just an understanding that, hey, we just not cool together like that. Y'all probably still do business together. One of y'all still spending frivolously, but you can afford to do it. It's just that you weren't on the same emotional plane, and that happens sometimes. And y'all just went y'all separate ways, and that's okay. But it didn't work out because y'all weren't emotionally connected. You probably weren't even sexually attracted to this person. Y'all barely had sex. Y'all met up and had sex sporadically. Like, it wasn't that kind of relationship. There wasn't too much passion in the relationship. It just wasn't meant to be. And it's like that sometimes. Capricorn. Challenges, making decisions, working on inner healing. So you are not in your past relationship off rip because y'all weren't on the same cosmic platform. Like, you were with somebody who was not spiritually available. Like, you were into meditation, and they were into the club. You were into growth and elevation. Aside from money and getting what's available from the world, the material world. You were about elevating yourself in a way that is unstoppable. And you may have seen this with your person, but as you grew, you realized that you may have chosen someone that was nowhere near where you were at spiritually. And that was a big problem for you, because once you get on a plane of spirituality and elevation and opening up that third eye and seeing what the world is really about, anybody that is outside that spiritual fear becomes a threat to your peace. And I feel like this person was just destroying your peace, and every little thing about this person may have been a challenge, and you were trying to see with them, but it just wasn't working out. And that's what happens when you try to be with somebody who is just not ready to challenge themselves to change. Not because they're a fucked up person, or not because they don't know about spirituality or the importance of growing as an individual and becoming a better version of themselves. It's just that they didn't have their spiritual awakening at the same time that you did. It's kind of like sex, you know, like you have to be nice enough to try to climax at the same time as your partner, because that's fair. But that doesn't always happen. So if you climax first, you got to go back and you got to go get them. You know, you got to get them so y'all both could be satisfied. That's I felt like y'all be able to relate to that, but this could go left real fast. So we're just going to get off that topic. Well, you get the picture, right, Capricorn? They just wasn't ready to come. Anyways, so Capricorn. So the Page of Pentacles is what I pulled. And the King of Swords. So there was definitely a struggle. The Page of Pentacles is it's just an energy of someone who is just young. And they might not have been young in age. They could have just been young in the mind. They weren't prepared for the ideas that you had. They weren't prepared for that spiritual journey. And then with your King of Swords energy, Capricorn, you could have been dealing with another Capricorn or a Taurus or Virgo, or you could have been dealing with a Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra. Could have been any sign, but these are the signs that populates heavy in your reading, in your general reading. Remember, it's general. So you were sitting on this epiphany of yours. You had an epiphany in this connection, and you just realized one day, probably at dinner while you just eating some food, that you realized they can't even cook that well because you were so in love. You was just eating the food because they just made amazing food when you were in love. But as soon as like you fell out of that bubble, and then it's like they don't even cook that good. But it wasn't that. It wasn't the food or the lack of skill to cook it. It was just the fact that this person was comfortable with being where they were, and they were not inspired by your spiritual awakening to even consider changing their perspective or opening their mind to your perspective, or growing with you, or at least being considerate of these changes. So I think that's what went wrong. And now you're doing the inner healing work. Like, it's challenging for you at times because this relationship also scarred you, because when you stick around someone for a very long time that's not on the same energetic level as you are, and you try to get them on that bandwagon with you, it's a hurtful process to separate, because you go through so much with this person. They see you naked, and I'm not talking about skin and bones and body. I'm talking about they see your soul. They see you in every aspect of you. And when they see this change, and you see this change within yourself, and you realize that you cannot take them with you, it's hurtful. It's like someone dying and going 6 feet under. They become a dead person to you. Like, they're literally spiritually dead. And that's why this relationship couldn't last. It went wrong, and you went left, and they went right. And that's just what it is. Sorry. Shit happens. Oh, but I didn't pull an oracle card for you. I can't leave y'all in this energy. I can't do it. I don't like to leave y'all down or whatever. You might be in a new relationship right now anyway, Capricorn. You don't give two fucks about this no more, probably. Who knows? Or anything you want Capricorn to know about this relationship that went wrong in the past. Courage. So, boom. So you need to have the courage, of which I think you did have the courage to leave anyway. I think that's what the message really is that keep that same energy, keep that same momentum, Capricorn. Always have the courage to know when something is not working for you anymore. Don't stress it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make it work to the point where it's working your piece up out of your life. The minute that you recognize that someone is not energetically on your level, you identify it, you call it out, you try to work with it, and then you leave it in the universe's hands. And if it falls apart, it falls apart, because things fall apart for better things to come together. And you have to have the courage to keep going even when it seems like the road is dim. So that's just what it is. I love spiritual awakenings when you realize, like, yo, life is a whole lot deeper than what we give it credit for. And you start growing and you realize that everything that you're going through is just an experience. An experience is supposed to enhance your experience for you to get everything that you so rightfully deserve. It's a beautiful feeling, but it's fucked up at first, because it's like it's a change that you don't really anticipate. It kind of happens, and then you just kind of just got to go with the flow, because if you go against the flow, you just make that shit hurt worse. So it's like spiritual awakenings are never just like glitter unicorns and rainbows. It's some tough, hard, difficult shit. But once you go through that shit and you start seeing what it feels like to truly be free, and I'm talking about free, like letting things flow as they should, and then you know when to just knock a relationship to the side, like, yeah, we could be cool or whatever, but I can't let you get too far up in this energy because you ain't there yet. What went wrong with Sagittarius' past relationship? I already cut it. Let's just go ahead and take it off the top. So the World card came out. So Sagittarius, you came to the end of a cycle. So you may have been in this relationship for a very long time. I sense an energy of you being with this person for, you could have been high school sweethearts or someone that you met in college. The Four of Cups, what may have occurred is that you all y'all were so much alike. And I feel like you all became one in a not so great way. So you never really gave each other space to grow. Y'all had to walk away from each other to see what life would be like without each other. It's like your parents put you in the tub together as kids. You grow up, you go to the same school, you go to high school together, you graduate, you go to college together, you go to college, you take the same classes. Y'all was all doing the same thing. I feel like one of you put your life on hold for the other, or you just did what you needed to do to make sure that you were aligned with that person. And because of that, now you're going through this renewal where you're like, yo, there is so much more out here than you. And it sucks because you can actually work on this connection. I feel like for some of you, you may still be working on this connection, maybe seeing how you can reinvent this relationship, because I don't see where you've moved on. This feels like something that is still going on because you're not trying to see anyone else. But I feel like the power struggle is that you low-key feel like this person imposed their way of life on you. Or maybe your parents imposed this way of life on you. Something happened where it's like a family tie thing where y'all had to really be in this relationship. You know, like how those arranged marriages or something, but something feels like someone did not get to live life the way they wanted to. Maybe your parents are living vicariously through you and y'all had to move like through on this certain tradition. And because of that, you just wanted to see what life would be like without this person, Sagittarius. And that's what went wrong. What went wrong is just that y'all weren't individuals in this relationship. Let's pull an oracle card for the advice for you and your person, because I don't feel like y'all are over. I just feel like y'all want to figure out how to be individuals, but y'all don't want to leave each other alone. That's so sweet. That is so sweet. It's like the true love story. Anyways, moving on. Sagittarius. Okay. For some reason, I feel like I skipped Cancer, but y'all said I did it, so I'll see that on the playback. So if I skip Cancer, I'm sorry. Look at it. Wholeness. So you have to find your life without this person, not necessarily in their absence, but you have to see how to become your own individual person without them. Your spirit guides are just saying that you can be who you are in a relationship without needing to validate it with family, with status, with money, because I feel like their lives were imposed on you. Your parents or somebody is just living vicariously through you in this connection, and you just want to be your own person, Sagittarius. So focus on you. And if this person is truly for you, y'all will work the fuck out. And if y'all really want to be together, relationships, like I said earlier on in this reading, relationships take work. So keep working on it and keep working on being the individual that you are, and do what you need to do to make those changes so that you won't lose yourself in this connection. Aries, I feel like you probably were taking on... your person may have felt like they were taking on more than they can bear with you. So you probably came into the relationship. You, Aries, came into the relationship with baggage from the past. I'm going to pull another card to see what's going on. The Moon. So you came into the relationship with baggage from the past. And also the good thing about what you did was you told your person what the real was. You gave them what a lot of people don't do in relationships up front. Like, they let information out bit by bit to kind of ease you into their bullshit. But Aries, I feel like you opened up your closet of skeletons. And your closet of skeletons was a lot. And it was a lot for your person to deal with. And your person probably was just getting out of something that they was recovering from. And you done brought them some new shit that they attracted because they never really did the work on themselves to really... work on this relationship and appreciate it for what it is, because you are a rare find. For this particular Aries that I'm talking to, you are one of those people that you're not going to let anyone guess how you're feeling. You're not going to short anyone in the emotional department. You're not going to let anyone try to figure out what's on your mind. Not anymore. So you gave this person, you may have been dealing with another Aries or a Sagittarius or a Leo, and you told them what it was. You like, sometimes I don't know how to express myself. I got a felony charge, for beating the shit out of a police officer. I'm in anger management. I'm a sex addict. Like, like you kind of like went down the list, and because you really care about this person, and I feel like they stuck by your side, but you have things that you're still dealing with, and they have things that they're still dealing with, and it was just too much for them to bear. So I feel like the relationship dissolved because it was just too much for both of you to deal with it at this time. It was one of those situations where it felt like it was the right person at the wrong time, because you both felt like home, but it just wasn't working. No matter what y'all do with the fighting and the bickering and just not getting each other's points across. I don't see infidelity. Maybe you have people from the past that you brought, like the baggage, because there's people who may not leave you alone, but you gave this person 110% as far as letting them know, hey, this is what comes with me, and they couldn't handle it. I'm going to pull an oracle card for you, Aries, and then we're going to move on to Leo, and then we're going to close this long ass reading out. All right, so what is the advice that we have for Aries at this time? What is the advice? Courage once again. So you have to have the courage, just like to go another day. You have to have the courage to know that just because this particular relationship didn't work out right now doesn't mean that it's over forever. It just means that you have to deal with your shit, and you have to have the courage to deal with your shit on your own. Just because someone is not willing to walk that path with you at this time doesn't mean that you're not worth it. It doesn't mean that you're not worth having real love. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you have things that you need to work on, so that when that time comes again, whether it's with this person or the next, you will still have that same courage to be the same open, transparent person that you were with this person who just couldn't handle it. Don't use this as a mechanism to close your heart off because someone couldn't handle what you brought to the table. There's someone out there that can handle what you bring to the table. Keep being true and authentic, and have the courage to be you in every circumstance. Don't change, because this is a very, 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 very rare characteristic that you have, whereas being transparent, even when it's difficult, even when it will hurt the other person. So good for you, Aries. Leo, gambling. Gambling, problems with addictions, or gambling, bad finances. This may have gambled with your feelings, or you may have gambled with your feelings with a person who was not showing you their true self at the beginning of the relationship. Someone may have had an addiction in your relationship. It could be addiction to someone who had a codependency issues, someone who depended on you to make them feel whole, but it wasn't a leveled relationship. Or you could have had an addiction to gambling, Leo, or just gambling with your heart, just jumping in and out of connections. When one connection is not working, you just kind of like box it to the side and you move on to the next one, like boop, nope, next one, boop, nope, next one, not giving it a chance. That's toxic as well. And also gambling with your energy. So gambling in any regard. Let's go ahead and pull a tarot card to narrow this thing down for you, Leo. Ooh. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. We got the World card, and then we got the Fool card. So always starting new energy. So Leo, you always go into your relationships with a new attitude. You always go into your relationships trying not to bring yesteryear or yestermonth or last week or yesterday into your connections, because I feel like this is an energy of someone who knows the importance of having a clean slate. But you may have been dealing with things internally that you're growing from that you haven't fully even understand or grasp about yourself before you jump into your connections, which is why I feel like you may be gambling with your heart or gambling with your energy, because while you're still healing, you're attracting people that reflect the parts of you that you're still trying to grow from. But there's a new beginning that you need to have with yourself. Your past relationship did not work because you just weren't ready for the relationship. You may have felt like your person wasn't the one that was ready, but you just did not know how to communicate what you were feeling well enough for them to understand the things that made you tick, the things that made you uncomfortable, the things that put you on edge. You're still getting to know yourself. You feel as though you may feel as though people take you for granted often. And that's because you do hold yourself to a high regard, of which you should. But I feel like you have to take the time to get to know yourself a little better before you jump into another connection, Leo, because I feel like you are going through major changes right now. And when you finally do accept those changes, go through them, accept them for what they are, release the past, and don't allow past experiences to affect your inner peace, because I do feel that you get triggered a lot by things. You won't gamble with your heart so easily. Take the time to just really get to know yourself a little better so that you can explain yourself better to people when you're in your connections. Let's go ahead and pull a oracle card for you, Leo. But life is a damn gamble. Like when you get in a relationship, it's always going to be a gamble. So there's a caveat to that. You're always gambling because you never really know. A person can give you their all, or you could give a person their all and it can work. And then they could decide one day, I don't want to do this shit no more. Not because you did anything wrong, because they just don't want to do this shit no more. That's a gamble with your heart. But when you're in the right space with your heart, when it's prepared to take on that, when you get the right understanding that experiences do end sometimes and it's beyond your control and it doesn't affect you in a way that devastates you, that's when you reach you've reached the World card, your pinnacle. You've reached that place where you cannot be fucked with. So, and I think that's what you're working towards. So let's get some advice for Leo. Cosmic flow. See, we pull this card. This card is just So when you go through things, I feel like you know that everything has a purpose in your life. There's nothing that happens by chance. And I feel like you gamble with your heart because you know the importance of experience and you understand the importance of growing wisdom so that you don't repeat these experiences again. So I feel like your spirit guides is saying to continue to go with the flow, continue to see those signs that the universe is sending to you and don't take them for granted either, and understand that your time will come when the right relationship is for you. You'll embrace it with open arms and you won't resent anyone based on your past experience. So Leo, I hope that resonates in some way. Take what resonates and leave behind what does not. Appreciate y'all for vibing with me. Follow me on all my networks, Tell 'em Tribe Tarot. Hit me up and subscribe to my channel, YouTube, Tell 'em Tribe Tarot. Drop a comment if this resonates. Click like, turn on post notifications. I am your host and your favorite reader, Tell 'em Tribe Tarot's own Cherokee. See you next week. Same time, Tribe.